Hello and welcome to another Friday Night Pint Live, otherwise known as the Dan and Scott Show. Although it was, but we've had a returning face, a familiar face. He's back for a little bit to join us ahead of his trip to Forest tomorrow. Nicky is here. Good to see you, mate.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me.
Listen, Scott messaged me in the week.
Thanks for having me on.
Because it has been it's been me and Scott on. Scott, messaged me because Nicky's been on nights. For those who don't know. So anyway, he said, "Look, I want to try and be positive. I don't want to be negative. I want to talk about positive." And I said, Scott, mate, we've just been battered 6-0. How are we going to do this? And
yeah, do you know what? I'm quite interested to see your positive spin on things, Scott, because I tell you what, you might be able to cheer me up.
We didn't lose 7-0.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I don't think I can turn a 6-0 defeat into any positive whatsoever. Apart from Moyes may have to, Moyes is going to be forced to change things, isn't he? In the game coming up tomorrow. But mate,
forced to change things is one of the words. We'll get into it.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, obviously, so the title. Obviously, we'll talk about the impending return of Antonio, who's supposed to be back for tomorrow's game, and Paqueta, who won't be too far behind him. So that is something positive we're going to talk about. If they can potentially having him back can save our season, turn our fortunes around. No win since the 28th of December. I mean, for me, it's been looking bleak. That's a positive. That's a light in the darkness. But how I see us play on Sunday, obviously, Nick, me, and you and Brian did the review, and to see that performance, mate, it was shocking.
Yeah, it was shocking. It was shocking. And do you know what? I was going to do a morning after the game before, but I don't think there was anything more needed to be said, if I'm honest with you. And I've been looking into it for the whole week. I've been looking at reasons of why this result. That's the worst result that we've had in 60 years at home. We haven't been beaten like that for 60 years at a home game. And we've had some atrocious teams, mate. We've played some fucking good teams. A team, which is supposed to be in contention for Europe, in contention to, become one of the best, squads we've ever assembled, should not be getting beat like that. I've looked for the reasons why. And I think I've got them. I think I know what the reasons are, and it's, to be honest with you, it's a very sad sight. It's a very sad. I think it's going to be a very sad end for David Moyes, because there is no future in this side. There is no future. I've been looking at it over and over again. I've been looking for the reasons why. Youthful Arsenal run us ragged, and a lot of the players that we've got, unfortunately, are on the decline. Kurt Zouma is on the decline. There's a lot of them, that are the wrong side of 25. If you look at the squad ages, a lot of them are approaching 30. There is no longevity in this squad anymore, and there is very fine margins when you're running a side with the same 11 and battering the same 11 week in, week out, whether it be Cup, Europe, Premier League, in the higher intensity, pressures. You've got a thin squad like that. You've got to have a couple of youth players, youthful legs running around. And you look around our squad, mate, it's not there. It is not there. I looked, I was shocked when I started looking into the ages of these players. And a couple of them are just, I think, running on fumes at the minute, and you've got to look at the management for that. You let 3 players go. Yes, they wasn't in his faults, and I think he'd battered the confidence out of them. But there is no competition now. The players are playing. Simple as that. That's what we've got. There is no room for change. There is no competition for places. It's become quite evident that the 11 that he prefers will play regardless. Souček will always play. When he's back, Paqueta will always play. Bowen will always play. Antonio will always play. And it's going to be very interesting to see what happens when them two do come back, because he's got a bit of a problem up front, and it's a problem that he don't like, David Moyes, and that's he's going to have to choose between, 3 or 4 very good players. I don't know who misses out, but I think it's look, it's not so much an issue for now. Although I cannot see our season getting, finishing strongly. I can't see it because of the the games we've got coming up, the competition that we've got for places, the Finn squad. There's going to be more injuries. There's going to be more people missing through other things, and I just don't think we've got the squad to cope with it. I know it's going to sound like it's a but you have to look at it. But I think the wider problem comes from next year and the year after and the year after that, is that these players are on their last legs, and there's a lot need replacing.
See, I think what you're saying with the Zuma thing, right? I think Zuma's got problems. You can see the guy can't walk properly. He's being played, like you said, he is being played a bit too much. He needs time to rest. He needs time to recover from injuries. I don't think it's the age of the squad that's the problem, mate. I'll be honest with you, I weren't there Sunday. I had other things to do, and they took priority over going.
It seemed like half the players had other things to do.
And not being funny, mate. I see this coming. This was the writing was on the wall, right? Arsenal have been battering teams, without scoring a goal. They put 3 past Liverpool the other week. They played another game. They could have had 5 or 6. Let's be honest. Right, we beat them in the cup. We beat them in the league. They could have had 4 or 5 in them games. This was coming, right? In all the games after Christmas, we were shit. We played crap. Teams, we were riding our luck. We're lucky we got the draws that we got, right? And I take you all the way back to Brighton and Chelsea, and everyone said, I don't know what I'm talking about. Areola has a shit game in both them games. We get beat, and we get beat comfortably. This has been coming and coming and coming, and it was always going to happen, right? Even if I didn't have anything to do on Sunday, I weren't going, right? And you can sit there and say I'm a fickle fan and all that. Gabby Bonglahor sitting there saying, West Ham fans only go. I've been there when we've been slapped. I've been there when we won, right? But I'm fed up with the shit football, and I weren't going to go over there with a bunch of fucking Arsenal fans who have done my head in since last season, right? Gloating because they've got one over on us, right? You say you look at the team, right? With Souček is in the side, Moyes' boy, he's the Czech for Laney, right? Dangerous set pieces and defending set pieces. So what do? Against a small Arsenal side that, ain't that brilliant that we should dominate in the air? Let's put our best threat in the air on the front post when defending set pieces. So let's completely take him out of the game. And I'll tell you what did Arsenal do? Bypass the front post, put it at the back post. Common sense football. So when you look at, yes, Moyes does flog the players. Yes, Moyes does not use the youth. And you can sit there and say maybe the youth isn't good enough, but there's a lot of coaches around West Ham that are saying the youth are good enough. The manager's the problem. Right?
He doesn't want to develop. It doesn't seem like he wants to develop anyone. He wants the same old tried and tested, same old shit over and over again. You know what I mean? Whether it works or not, it doesn't matter the opposition. We will play the same way regardless. And I think that is where these arguments are going to come. Listen, I've very much spent, this season flitting to and between Moyes and all that, because there is parts of me that wants him to learn, but there's other parts of me that knows he can't learn. He only knows one way of doing it. All of these people that are turning around and saying, oh, why is it? Listen, when it works, it works. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't fucking whinge about it when it's working, But the problem is the Premier League is a fast and unforgiving terrain for a team like us, because once your threat gets nullified and it gets identified and it gets exposed, you have to move on to the next one. In other terms, you have to have 5 or 6 or 7 plans up your sleeve to cover every eventuality. Yeah. We've got one, exactly. And it's been exposed. You know, Kudus has not come back the same. Bowen has not been the same since his injury. We lost all three of them players at the same time. You know, and it just seems to me like he's relying and hoping that a 34-year-old Mikel Antonio is going to come back and save our season, like Dan's title. Is he going to come back and save our season? The only way we can save our season, in fact, the only way we can save the next couple of seasons is to get rid of the manager. Because we need to find different ways to play football. We cannot, you know, I watched his interview today about, like, you know, what he's seen in Sunday. What was the main problem Sunday? Arsenal were too good. I don't want to be hearing that from a manager. You know what I mean? You know, what was the main issue Sunday? Have you identified the issues? Yeah, I've identified it. Yeah, Arsenal were brilliant.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, that was.
They're skating over the whole thing, because at the end of the day, yes, Arsenal were on good form. Right, Arsenal played very, very well. Arsenal took their chances. Right, the Arsenal that we've not seen. Go back to last season with a 2-2 draw game. They went 2-0 up early, and we pulled it back to 2-2. They don't take their chances. Yeah, they're a good side. There's no knocking them. They're in the position they're in because they're a good side, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, Scott, it wasn't that they were so good. It comes down to how we play, right? So look at the Emirates game, right? They had chance after chance after chance, right? But because we limited their chances, the quality of those chances weren't great because of how we defended. But today, because of how weak we were on set pieces, how poor our defending was, if we tightened up and defend that first set piece, and you know, they're still going to have trouble breaking us down. But then as soon as they get that in, our line gets higher, and they start exposing that.
Do you know what I've said, and I've also seen footage this week of Mikel Arteta talking to Ben White, you know, on the sidelines. You know, I've seen, like, you know, pictures. And listen, I'm no, you know, body language expert, but because of the lack of, you know, people are saying, well, Bowen and Kudus were so far away from everyone else. It was, you know, it's difficult for, you know, listen, at the end of the day, he's right in some ways. Arsenal are a good side. You know, their defensive work on the day were great. But I can see Arteta saying to Ben White, basically, like, Ben White's in the first sort of 20 minutes, Ben White's sort of dropping off and dropping back into the defence. And at one point, I saw him say to him, sort of like, just stay up. There's nothing there. There's no threat there.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't bother coming back. There's, you know, even if they get the ball, we've got enough to deal with it in Saliba and Gabriel. Don't bother. You know, go into midfield. Like, it's worrying.
This is the thing, mate. When you're sitting so deep in the game and you don't get up and support your strikers. You know, you're even when you're playing on the counter. If you're playing on the counter, you've got to get up and support your strikers. You know, we were playing Ben Johnson as more of an attacking, right-sided midfielder. You know, and this is the thing. You've got youngsters who play in that position naturally, whether they're good enough or not. It's their natural position. You know, he's sitting there. You're playing a Ward-Prowse, a Souček, and an Alvarez. Now, not being funny, you've signed Phillips. Look, you all know my opinion on Phillips, but he'll give you more in a game than what Souček will, especially when you've not got the ball. Souček, when you've not got the ball, if you take out the set pieces, he's pointless on the pitch. Yeah, he works hard, granted. He puts his body alive, granted, and I respect him for that. But if you're not using him right at set pieces, pointless. Bringing in someone who put the ball at their feet is going to be a bit better than what he is. Because when you've got the ball against sides like Arsenal, as we've seen when we have beaten them, when we did beat Chelsea, when we did beat Brighton, when you've got the ball, you need to use it correctly. And unfortunately for Souček, doesn't always use it correctly. You know, he's not renowned for his passing ability, whereas Phillips is. You know, so this is the thing. It's picking and choosing your players and swapping them when you need. It's the whole idea of having a squad. And again, you know, takes Emerson off, brings on Creswell. Why are we giving Creswell minutes? What's the point? The geezer don't want to be at the club. The geezer's finished. Why are we still giving him minutes? You've got youngsters, Ollie Scars. Give him minutes. Give him time. What is the worst thing that's going to happen? We lose 7-0. We lose by another goal. Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely pointless that you're wasting your time playing players like Aaron Creswell that don't want to be at the football club, that's coming towards the end of his career.
Scott, I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you exactly why. Because he has no future here. And he knows he's got no future here. He is not interested in developing for the future. You know, I watched a podcast with him a year ago. It's about a year ago now when he was on that that fucking millionaire podcast, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
How to be a millionaire, or whatever. And he's saying he's trying to make West Ham better. He's not trying to make West Ham better. He's trying to shape West Ham into what's good for him today. And that's what's, you know, and I hate, you know what? I hate this because he has done good work. He has done good work. And he's, you know, he has transformed this club from an aimless, sinking ship into a steady, you know, one that was going in the right direction. And unfortunately, it's you know, it's time to get, you know, all of these people. And you know, someone said this to me earlier. Do you get sick of defending your position on him? And I said, look, my position does not change. Like, you know, my position's been clear. I just don't shout it from the rooftops anymore because there are some people that don't want to hear it. And I like hearing opinion. I don't get sick of opinion. It's the way you express your opinion, and it's the way you argue against it. You know, you got to take pros and cons. You know, you can't just turn around and think you're right. You know, and a lot of people say, well, you don't appreciate it. Won your trophy. Yeah, he did win us a trophy. Fucking Ron Greenwood have won us a trophy. What do you want to do? Instill him for the rest of our fucking life? You cannot keep on, especially in this fucking day and age with the Premier League. It moves so fast, you know, and you need to, as I said before, a club like us gets so few moments of success and so few moments to really sort of like put a case down to, you know, to develop. You know, you've got to strike while the iron's hot. You know, when you're in a successful moment, it doesn't mean you have to wait for it to go all to shit again before you make a change. It means like you have to get that moment and take that moment and change why the moment's right. To develop the club, you know, someone that may be looking on and thinking, do you know what, they've had a couple of good seasons. I wouldn't mind managing them. I think I could do something with them. Now, why wait until it goes all the way fucking back, till there's no European football, till there's no 6th or 7th place finishes to make a change again? Because we're going to be going back to the Pellegrinis and the fucking wankers that we had before. You know, you need to develop, man. You need to develop. This geezer is not Pep Guardiola. You know, I asked this question the other day. Does anybody, can you name a single club in this division right now that if we let him go, would actively pursue him for success? Not for relegation steadiness, but for success.
But there isn't the teams that are striving for success. The big teams.
Every team strives for success.
Success is relative to each
club
team.
In this Premier League, can you see any one of them turn around and go, do you know what? The man that wins us a trophy is going to be David Moyes.
No, of course not. But
well, if that's what you define as success. But I actually think he'd be a good fit for Palace because I think
that
he'd be perfect. And I think no, but I think, you know, that could be the manager again. That could, if they invest, they had to give him money because look, we've given him a shitload of money though. So to get 7th, then win a Conference League for them, he'd need a lot of investment. So yeah, it's true. Yeah, to be that manager, that it has to be a club that's going to give him a lot of money to get that successful, like what we've had, in my opinion. I'll just read the super chat from good old Sharky, £5 super chat. Thank you very much, mate. Says, evening, Scott, Nicky, and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and all in the chat. We need a good performance tomorrow. We need the 6 points, but we need a fucking response, and we'll get to that later. Edward Turner with a $10 super chat. WHU 7th lowest possession stat, top 5 leagues in Europe, 7 games in the EPL this season, one with 26% possession or lower. We have 4 of those wins. Bottom of the EPL in pressing stats, touches in the final third. Now, this is what I want to get on. Thank you very much, Edward. So I want to get onto is this debate about style of play. It's come up quite a bit. I had this debate on with Andy and with what's his fucking name from Talk Sports? What's his fucking name? From fucking
in White.
No, the other one. The fucking never mind. I don't want to Talk Sport. My listen. It's been a long day. What's his name? Andy
Goldstein.
Andy Townsend.
No, the other end. Townsend. That's it. Thank you, Townsend. Moyes also addressed it. Was asked about style of play, being entertained. I've seen so many pundits talk about. Goldstein said it on TalkSport about fans wanting entertaining football. Now, entertaining football, it probably means different things to all of us, right? There's a big talk about possession. To me, entertainment and possession aren't exclusive. We can be entertaining without dominating possession, because I see a lot of teams that dominate possession, and that can be just as boring, constant passing, sideways, backwards, and things like that, trying to maintain possession. To me, I don't mind if we've got less possession when what we do with the ball is entertaining, constantly trying to find a forward pass, and trying to be more direct, not just lumping it over the top, but progressing the ball as quickly as possible, end-to-end football, even if we're the ones with less possession. And also without the ball, and Edward pointed out there, the pressing. When I see teams like Sean Dyche's Everton, they are more entertaining to watch than us. They don't play tippy-tappy football, but they fight for the ball. And when they've got it, they're trying to get down the other end as quick as possible. Like, in that regard, we can be like that. We can press. We can try and win the ball back high up the pitch. And when we've got the ball, we can try and get it down the other end as quick as possible. But they don't dominate possession. I don't have to see us take 50 passes to get it in the back of the net. And, that was a fucking cracking goal. So
the thing is, mate, is that it's like, right, it's what you class as entertaining, right? If you like what you see at Manchester City, where they're stringing 50, 60 passes together to make a chance on goal, if you think that's entertaining, then that's fine. But like you said, with the Everton, where the fact that they're resilient, they're rugged, they press, they make the teams work. If they're going to create, have a chance to create against them, they make the teams work for it. So it's the work rate, the work levels. At the end of the day, as well as I do, being West Ham fans, we cheer a quality tackle as loud as we cheer a goal. We see someone putting their effort in, chasing the ball down, putting the keeper under pressure, putting players under pressure. You cheer that, and that's what you want to see. And for me, that's entertainment.
Yeah. Mate, I tell you, look, Nick, remember Phillips right in front of us? He put that tackle in near the end, didn't he? Took the geezer out. We all were the ones that were left of us was all like, yes, come on. I was like, we were 6-0 down, but someone did something.
And that's the thing, you want to see that at 0-0. And this is the thing, going back to the Arsenal game a touch, right, is that you've got to put some of the blame on the players. Because they gave up.
Yeah, of course.
They gave up.
Oh, they capitulated.
Yeah, and this is the problem. They've got to take some responsibility. As much as you drill into a system that you want your players to play, right? We're going to be deep in possession. We're not going to see, we're going to let them have the ball, let them try and break us down. We need to be resilient. If your players then stop being resilient, then your tactics are never going to work anyway, right?
Yeah.
The problem we've got, and as I said, there's games that have been shit games, and then Paqueta produces a moment of brilliance.
Yeah.
Because he's got that about him. Or Kudus will go on a run. Or Bowen will go on a run. We've got the players there to have that. The problem is we don't see it enough. The reins are not let off our attacking players enough to make it entertaining. You guys were there at Everton. We were all there at Brighton. We watched Nick, we were at Butlins watching the Palace game. Dan, you were there. We all know how dire our football can be. But we've also been there and seen how exciting it can be when we do that counter-attack correctly.
The thing is, I think
quickly.
It works against the bigger sides. I know it sounds mad, but it works against the bigger sides because we're set up for that. It didn't work on Sunday, but against the bigger sides, the teams that that want to play a little bit, it works. The Brighton game, it worked and all. But the problem is, Scott, we set up the same in every one. Like Palace game, the Bournemouth game, the Forest game, which I thought was diabolical, by the way. I thought we should have lost that game. Relevant because we're going there tomorrow, but I thought we should have lost that game. There's teams that we've played, the Brentford game, where we need to be coming out and attacking them, and being confident. What's the point in finishing? I know we wasn't great in the league last year, but 5th, 6th, 7th, sorry, and then chasing another European place. If you don't think you can step up at home to Crystal fucking Palace and outplay them and out attack them, we have to fucking close up shop against Crystal Palace and Bournemouth. If that's the case, mate, we've seen champions of Europe, but you know, the club don't believe that they're, or the manager don't believe that we're a big side.
Yeah, and this is the problem, mate. You can look, losing 6-0 at home is unacceptable. Right? It's completely unacceptable. And you think we only would lose by 4 or 5s against a Manchester City side or a Liverpool side that had better players than what Arsenal have got. Right? It was a complete capitulation.
During our awful Pellegrini run, that was so terrible as well.
Yeah. And this is the thing, right? And it's that adapting to the games. Look, you can take getting beat by the big sides if you put the teams to the sword that you do. You look at that run before Christmas, right? We got battered by Fulham, but we beat Man United, we beat Arsenal, we beat Tottenham, we beat Wolves. Yeah, then we go Sheffield United, and luckily get a draw. Okay, dodgy refereeing decisions granted, but you shouldn't be relying on the ref to win you a game. The Bournemouth game, the Brighton game. Yeah, these Brighton at the time when we played them were in a poor run of form. Yeah, we're there for the beating, and like you said, we sat back and said, "Yeah, here's the ball," and Brighton were like, "Oh, we don't fucking want it. You do something with it." Do you know what I mean? And this is where it all falls down, because you had that good run before Christmas. Look, I know we've had injuries. I know you have, form is temporary in players. You get a dip in form, but you need to be adapting your tactics to take on the sides that are lesser than you. We are pushing a top 6 side. We should be able to adapt our style of play to beat the Sheffield United, beat the Bournemouths, beat the Crystal Palaces, beat the
team sits back against us. We're fucked. We don't know what to do if they sit deep.
And that is the problem, because when we do have possession of the football, it's side, back, side, forward, back.
That's what I'm talking about. Entertainment. Look, I'm not expecting us to go out, and fucking go gung ho against someone like Arsenal. Like the way we played them at the Emirates was perfect. They we rode our luck. But that was entertaining because they was coming at us and it gave us a chance to. But then you get to the Crystal Palace game or the Bournemouth game. I thought Bournemouth actually wanted to play football, but Everton game. You should be putting him to the sword. I think that's what would save him if he actually adapted the side and thought, right, we've got Bournemouth or we've got Crystal Palace or we've got Everton at home. Let's fucking abandon these defensive tactics. Let's get a couple more attacking players in. Let's put the emphasis on the attack and put us on the front foot. I don't think people would have a fucking issue.
But even defending, we could be more entertaining in defence.
It's arrogance, mate. And someone just said it there. It's arrogant. It is arrogance. To stick it out last year. And look, as much as I don't like him going on podcasts, Mikel Antonio confirmed it. He stuck to the same tactics last year in the league. Wasn't working at all when he kept on and on till we was in relegation form, and it took the players to go, take it upon themselves to play a different way.
Yeah, it just. I think
I am then looking at it thinking, well, what the fuck is he doing for his money? He's not doing anything apart. He might as well take the same. He might as well plop the same fucking team sheet and the same fucking tactics on the table, walk out and come back at the end of the season, because that's basically what he's doing.
So Steve Bell, I'll just read this super chat. Steve WHU Bell 989 says, "Good job. We've got points on the board. Could have been dodgy. Yeah, that's absolutely. And I think that's what makes it worse as well. Is that 6-0 loss came in a really bad run as well. It's not just like we were winning. We've had that. Oh, it's a blip. It's in a bad run. So cheers, Steve. Matt Rainey, I'll just this one. Matt Rainey, 199 super chat. Thank you very much, Matt. Always a pleasure to have you on. Nick and Dan, big up when you go on non-West Ham shows. F them. Yeah, we're fighting for our lives right now against these non-West Ham fans, and the team's not doing us any favors. That's for sure.
But the thing is that it's all timing. As I said to you, I see that result against Arsenal coming.
It's not easy. It's not difficult to see 4-1 against Aston Villa, 5-1 against Liverpool, 5-0 against Fulham. People are talking about this.
3-0 to Man United the game before, didn't we?
3-0 to Man. Yeah, people talking about this. We've conceded a lot of fucking goals, like a lot of goals, and for a team that sets up with 8 men behind the ball at the minute, it is fucking baffling. It's not baffling. It's embarrassing and it's concerning.
But it's also the fact of not using the players right. Alvarez, we've seen time after time how good Alvarez can be protecting that back four. And then he keeps changing him. You know, we've seen games where Alvarez is up in the attacking third, and we don't want him there doing that. You know, we don't want him trying to be a Declan Rice and picking up the ball and driving through the midfield and getting forward. You just want him sweeping up. You want him doing what Makelele used to do for Madrid or Kante did for Leicester and Chelsea. Just sit in front of that back four.
I don't think they've been helped, Scott. I do not think they've been helped by the fact that there is no competition now. There's no competition, you know. Listen, James Ward-Prowse is not in the best run of form. You know, if we'd have had another couple of midfielders, he could have found himself out the side. You know, have a rest for a little while, son. You know, get your mind back together on it. I think that is one of the players that are playing have got no rest. You know, they're being flogged. And the people that ain't playing, who cannot get a fucking. I mean, I still don't understand the Cornet thing. You know, no left midfielder. He'll try anyone else out. He'll probably put fucking Kevin Nolan out in the wing before he puts fucking Cornet back out there, which I think is baffling. And the fact that Danny Ings, who was actually playing himself, he just kills momentum of these players. He kills them. He kills them stone dead. And he sucks the fucking life out of the players that you know that not in his plans, and makes them so fucking desperate to leave, you know. And now there's talks that there is others desperate to leave. You know, bigger players that are desperate to leave. Listen, that won't be his fucking problem. He'll be off at the end of the season. Don't worry about that.
I don't think that could be what keeps him, if that's true. If it's true.
I don't think that's true, mate. I just think that is Paqueta's jumping on the bandwagon of a poor run of form, trying to make stories.
These stories come out a lot when you have these times of crisis, for sure.
But so Dan, would you be surprised? Honestly, would you be surprised?
No, because especially you've got a player like Paqueta, a Brazilian player, grew up loving football, loving to play with the ball. I'm sure he doesn't enjoy it. I'm sure this wasn't his dream to come and play, you know, in a team that sets up with four banks of four, you know, behind the 2 banks of four behind the ball. I'm sure that wasn't his ambition, and I'm sure it's, you know, that's definitely not going to help. Same with players like Kudus. So for sure. But the thing is, the thing to me that really makes us not entertaining to watch, or me don't enjoy it, is the lack of urgency. That's our problem. And that's the problem I see when we don't have the ball. There's a lack of urgency to win it back as soon as possible, because we sit there and we wait for the team that has the ball to fuck up and make a mistake and us hit them on the break. When we do have the ball, there's a lack of urgency to get it down the other end of the pitch quickly. There's a lack of urgency from the players who haven't got the ball to try and move and make space and move into positions to receive the ball. And that is our biggest problem. What I've seen all season that's made it so frustrating for me to watch is just the lack of urgency up and down the pitch, in possession and out of possession.
But
that's what comes from the manager.
Yeah, but that's where sometimes, mate, you've got the players have got to take it upon themselves to go and do it. Do you know what I mean? They all know how to play.
What's the point of the manager?
But
that's just mutiny.
But it's not mutiny, because at the end of the day, you as a player, you see things on the pitch.
Oh, listen, there was a lot of players there that ain't getting away with it, mate. There's a lot of players that ain't getting away with it, but you have to start at the top first. But anyway, let's get to the subject. Will Antonio and Paqueta save our season? Yeah, Paqueta is the only one that has got any sort of creativity.
I think Antonio. I think we're underestimating the sort of impact Antonio will have, just in terms of the depth, the massive depth improvement. He can play anywhere along that front three, so that gives us a lot of improvement. So it just means that if we do lose a Paqueta, a Bowen, or a Kudus, you know, he can come in. If Antonio's fit, there should be no scenario where Bowen is playing as a 9 or a false 9 or anything like that. I can't watch it any longer. I mean, it kind of works with Paqueta and Kudus, because he would chop and change. They'd swap over with each other. Without Paqueta, we lose that creativity.
Dan, listen, mate. Antonio comes back and he's fit. He starts.
Does he?
Yeah, he does. You put him up top. You put Bowen on one side. You put Kudus on the other, and you put Paqueta in that number 10. Yeah, you look at that. Then what you've got there, you've got the most creative player. Look, Ward-Prowse is quality, but he's had a dip in form. I think Moyes is. I think Phillips has come in to replace Ward-Prowse, in my opinion. And I
What?
feel
Phillips is coming to replace Ward-Prowse.
Yeah, because Ward-Prowse, like I said, he's having a poor vein of form, but I don't think, again, we're not using him correctly. You look at the start of the season when we were using him, most chances created in the Premier League. And now all of a sudden we've started using him a different way, playing a different way. So Moyes is to blame for that, right? But if you put Paqueta in that 10, give him that role, you have got the pace of Antonio, the pace of Kudus, Bowen, 3 players there who like running at people, yeah, getting them on the back foot, the pace. You've got the strength of Antonio. That, let's remember, Bowen's done a great job playing in that number 9 role, but Antonio's a lot stronger. Look, we know that ball bounces off him more times than it sticks to him, but the threat that he offers, the strength that he offers, having Paqueta in that number 10 role, picking them passes to them 3 players will put 90% of the teams in this Premier League on the back foot from the outset, because there is so much threat in that front 4. So that is the only way you can say that Antonio and Paqueta could save our season, and Moyes will have to do that. Do I see Moyes doing it? No. But if he did, and it's going to take a little while because you've got to get Antonio back up to fitness. Yeah, we know he either comes back like a bull in a china shop and does brilliantly, or it takes him ages to get going again. If we can
say that, Scott, but we did well without Antonio in the side with Paqueta.
But things ain't going well now, so we need something different. We need something different.
Yeah, fair enough. We'll get some comments as well, not just the super chats. We're just reading these, but we've starred some other comments. I'll quickly read this. GP £2 super chat. Thank you, GP. Says we left Upton Park for 3rd tier cup / boring footy.
No, do you know what? Fuck all that. Don't worry about what other people say. It's 3rd tier cups and all that sort of thing. Cups are cup.
A lot of West Ham fans say that, you know.
If they're downplaying a trophy win, any trophy win's worth the salt. You know what I mean? Look, I don't put it down to Moyes, and we was pretty much favourites to win it. But they're not easy trophies to win, man. Trophies are not easy to win. You know what I mean? Like, don't. There's no such thing as well, obviously there is such thing as a 3rd tier trophy, but trophy wins are impressive no matter what it is. You know what I mean? Like, not everyone gets to win a trophy. Trophy's a trophy. Don't fucking tell me about 3rd-rate trophies and all that. What do you think? We should be competing for the fucking Champions League?
And this is
fucking real.
But this is the thing. It's a trophy, right? And this is what I'm fed up with. The disrespect to the Conference League, the disrespect to the League. It's a fucking trophy, man. Do you know what I mean?
It is. It's true, but I see that, and look, I agree. Listen, I said I loved it when we win that when we scored that winner. Bowen scored it. I wasn't going in my mind, oh, no, it's a 3rd-rate trophy. I was going mad for it. But I think what people say is, it's the problem with the trophy is it's not something to laud him as this genius, because, like Nicky said, we were favourites for it anyway. So there is that. But you have to give him some credit, because he finished as 7th and got. So you give him credit, but let's not go overboard.
Artillery says, Lawless, do you still think we have a better front 3 than us? I'm assuming he's an Arsenal fan. I'll answer that one if you want. Yes, I do.
We do. Yeah. The 6-0 game changes it, where we didn't have one of that front 3 in Paqueta. And yes, Paqueta, even though he's traditionally a midfielder, he's been playing on the wing because he was injured. So yeah, I still agree.
I think. Listen, I think they're both fantastic front 3s, but I think as a 3, I think we've got a better front 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Overall,
I'm not saying individually, but I'm just saying as a 3, I think our front 3 is better.
Yeah, overall, Matt. Yeah, no one's going to convince me otherwise. Mark Vaughan 499 super chat says, "Thank you very much, Mark. Need a massive result tomorrow, but I can't see it changing. Just the same style every week." We'll get some comments about Paqueta, and we'll talk about the importance of tomorrow and if we can foresee a win. Fortune's hiding down under TV with $14.99 Australian dollars. How was that for an accent? Let me know. It's so frustrating hearing these ideas from fans that could potentially work and use our players in the right way, and a man on $5 million a year can't see it or too stubborn to change it. Criminal. Yeah, and that's what we forget is Moyes is very well paid. and criticism is fair on his job when he's getting paid so much.
Let me go back to Artillero again, because he just said we're in denial. Your front three did not win you that game on Sunday. Your midfield did.
Yeah.
The midfielder that we fucking sold you, unfortunately. But your midfield, your front three, Saka was good, but I don't think
Jesus wasn't even playing.
Jesus weren't playing.
And Martinelli's been shit most of the season. You know what I mean?
It was down to Rice and Odegaard.
Yeah, Odegaard. To be fair with him, mate, Odegaard's a different level to them.
He's quality.
Such a good player. The others are all right. Saka's all right. Not much different to Bowen, to be honest. The stats prove that.
Our midfield won that Arsenal game.
yeah.
It's a fair assessment.
Spot on, Nick. So there's some comments here. Someone questioned, I think you might start this, Nick. What makes Kudus worth 60, 70 million? Are we just doing recency bias now because we lost the game 6-0? All of a sudden, Kudus
the same thing that makes Caicedo, mate, worth 125. Youth.
Yeah.
Listen. When you look at it, mate, Kudus walks into many of them sides in that you would class.
He walk into any team, bar Man City.
Yeah,
Kudus, he will go straight to the very top. To quote Harry Redknapp, he will go straight to the very top.
Man, it's true. He's a class player.
He'll be another one. He'll still be here next season. Don't worry about that.
So Hammer Time says something is seriously wrong if we are still relying on Antonio to save our season. You're not wrong there, mate.
It's because we've got nobody else. This is the thing, isn't it? This is why we sold everyone else. You know, it's either Antonio or Danny Ings.
No, I think can save our season. Graham. Graham can take over, mate. And I tell you what, he will steer us into that European spot. I'm telling you.
Listen, we might
be asking his fucking co-workers, how'd you cook an egg on the sideline? That's a different story. Though. Did I ever tell you about that?
Yeah,
I ever tell you about this story about when we used to run the ironworks. So early days in the ironworks, when we had our football club, Graham was the manager. Yeah, and Graham gets easily distracted. Is an understatement with Graham. Yeah, and like we sort of got this rivalry with this side because early doors there was a bit of a rough side and they broke one of our players' legs, and unfortunately I don't think he ever played again. And it was a nasty tackle, and it got a little bit heated, like, you know. So when we played them at home in the return fixture, sort of like it was a highly anticipated game, and it was a decent side, to be fair. It was a highly anticipated game, and everyone wanted to get one over on them, right? So I used to go over there every week to watch them. And I'm like, I was there when the kid got that, and I was, I'll get agitated anyway. And I was like, everyone's foaming at the mouth. Everyone wants to get a result over these people, right? Anyway, we end up 2-0 down, yeah, in the first half. So I'm like fucking like pacing up and down the the touchline, fucking foaming at the mouth. I'm fucking getting agitated every tackle. I'm feeling every tackle, and I'm looking at Graham, and Graham's sort of like standing there thinking, and I'm thinking to myself, he's thinking about it. Anyway, I start to identify the things that are wrong, and I turn around to say to Graham, like, because he was right next to me, I turn around to say to him, like, Graham, like, get this person on, get that person on. This is this, and he's going to the other one. Yeah, so you put a little bit of oil in the sauce, and then you put it in. The secret is don't heat it before you put it in. Just let it heat with the egg, and then you start flicking the oil. He said he's trying to boil an egg, and we're 2-0 down at home to our deadliest rivals at the time. But yeah, and I just think I remember just saying to him, "What the fuck are you talking about? Concentrate on this fucking game."
Fuck, that's classic Graham.
It's classic Graham.
Yeah. Drain hole hammers here. I've got to find out where that name comes from one day, by the way. Why
Drain hole hammers? I don't want to know.
Yeah. I don't understand why our team depend on one player to create chances. None of the players, bar two, look interested. Can you see us winning tomorrow? Honestly, that brings us actually nicely into the Forest game. Tomorrow, Nottingham Forest. Nuno.
I'm going to tell you what I said on the Nottingham Forest channel. I can't see us winning.
No.
I can't see it.
Oh, by the way, was you on Match of the Day? There's a lot of comments about you.
Yeah,
How
it
you
was.
looked.
Apparently
Good
so.
on-
Yeah, I wasn't on there
studio.
at choice. They probably just
Oh.
ripped off our content, but
Oh, someone said, "What's the lads at Match of the Day like?" So I thought you was like in the studio or something.
do you know what? I keep on. Do you know, a few people have said that to me this week, and I didn't know what. I thought they was thinking I look like Danny Murphy.
Yeah,
Thinking
maybe.
Danny
Yeah.
Murphy's been on it, right?
Yeah. But yeah, tomorrow obviously we did beat them earlier in the season, Forest, but they've got a new manager now, Nuno Espirito Santos. And listen, it's a tough place to go, the City ground. We struggled there last season, and we
Oh,
lost.
fuck off! Did we struggle there last
We didn't
season?
struggle, but we struggled with putting the ball in the back of the net. I'll say that. Yeah, we struggled with putting the ball in the back of the net. But yeah, we didn't win. We lost.
We did
this
win,
season.
yes.
They're battling relegation. They're fine. They had a great performance last week against Newcastle, a losing effort, but they showed some fight there, and they showed they had some quality, have some pace that I think hurt Newcastle at times. I'm not confident about going there tomorrow. I know, Nick, you're up early to go and travel down there. Not what you want to hear, and that's
No, I'm not confident either, but I'll still get up and travel because that's the way I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think, and I said this earlier on a preview. I said like they've had, even the Arsenal performance was decent. From them, they lost 2-1. I don't think the Newcastle one was definitely. They're scoring goals and they've got some players in good form. Goal scoring players in good form. They're going to smell blood, and this is the business end of the season. And I was saying this earlier. I can't see where our desire comes from. I don't see where it comes from. I don't see where, where our motivation comes from. I don't think there is any. I really don't. And I just think that Nuno's going to smell blood tomorrow. If we concede one early doors, I think it could get a bit ugly tomorrow. And I'm not just talking about the result. I'm talking about if 2 or 3 go in tomorrow, I think there could be some fucking nasty scenes in the stands. I think there could be, some. I don't mean like fighting or anything like that, but I'm just saying like people are going to start turning.
It could go Brighton last season. It could go to that sort of levels with the fans and how the fans turned on. But this is the thing. It is a must win. Each game we haven't won since, like I said, the 28th of December against Arsenal. We have some really important games now. This is against a team that's battling relegation. We have to get these points on the board if we want to still have any ambitions of Europe. A Spurs fan has bet me 50 quid that we won't win any of our next 6 games. 50 quid that we won't get a single win in our next 6. And they include Burnley, Forest, Everton, Brentford, and we got another one that's sort of in and around there. A sort of fairly winnable game. So our next 6 are not like the top teams. They're like the bottom half teams we've got to face. Palace might be one, I'm not sure. But the bottom half of the table teams, mid-table. 50. Surely my £50, I'm going to be 50 quid richer by the end of this 6 days. Sure.
Because if someone's giving you 6 chances to win 50 quid, I'll have it with him all day long.
Dan,
listen, I won 100 quid of times last season.
Your 50 quid will be safe.
Right? Yeah, I'll be 50 quid.
Who is it? Who is it?
His name's Deji.
I'll have it with him. I'll have it with him. 350 quid.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, listen, you could say double it up. We'll win 2 games in the next 6. I mean, I don't know.
I'm not stupid.
And your money's safe, mate. Listen, it's gonna start against Forest. We're gonna win this one. You'll see a bounce back from the players. You'll see a bounce back from the manager. We're gonna win this one.
You've just lost that 50 quid. 50 quid poorer. Yeah. So honestly, if we do that, that would just be insult to injury, wouldn't it? We've just got another.
We're not gonna not win in our next 6 games. We'll win on Saturday.
Yeah.
Within the next 6 games, I'll be back. Yeah. And I think we'll get better. I do think we'll get better, but I just can't see this one. I don't know.
It will be this. We'll bounce back, mate. We'll bounce back, and this will be the start for it. Away from home, we'll bounce back.
Mate, I want to see blood, sweat, and tears tomorrow. I want to see them players.
That's the thing. You can't. They're not. The players can't go out there and perform the way they did against Arsenal. they've got to show. They've got to show
But why?
respect.
But Scott, let me just ask you this: why have they got to show it?
Because they've got to show respect in themselves. They're professional football players.
Why have they got to show it? The manager don't care.
The manager
Because
does care.
But they've got to have pride as
doesn't care.
professionals.
Scott, the same 11 will be playing tomorrow that played against Arsenal, unless there's someone back.
That 11 has got to step up. That 11 has got to stand up and be counted. That's what they've got to do because it's part and parcel. Look, you can have a shit manager.
This is what I'm trying to say about it, though, Scott. Where is the motivation? Where is the motivation? There is no one to come in.
Self-respect. There's got to be that's motivation, pride, self-respect as a professional football player.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? You'd think so.
You're taking a paycheck. You should put the fucking effort in.
Yeah, well, you should. You should. I'm not arguing against it, but I'm just asking you: do you think half these players have got self-respect? Do you think they care about their performances? Do you think they give a shit whether we're going to win, lose, or draw? I think they're safe, and they know that they're going to be playing in the team the next week.
But that's it.
That's what I'm worried about.
You'll see a bounce back this week.
All right,
you will see a bounce back. And then we're going to we'll lose to Brentford at home, 100% lose to Brentford at home, and then we'll beat Burnley.
We need to we really need a good home performance after that game, and this is the thing. And the problem is, look, we may lose. We probably will win one in our next 6, but those wins need to come sooner rather than later because that toxicity is going to really, and that's why if we lose tomorrow. Yeah, if we lose tomorrow, that Brentford game will be nasty. If we lose,
we're losing that one. You know, the guarantee. If you're a betting man or a woman, you want to have a bet. You guarantee Brentford, Ivan Toney to score at any time, Brentford to win, and both teams to score. We'll nick a goal. That's your bet for the Brentford game. But tomorrow,
things could start turning, man. So they do need to get. We
need to turn the form around before the European game comes. That's the key now. Because listen, we're not going to finish.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's when it needs to turn around because that's the main thing now. Get another 6 points over the line. Forget about the league. Concentrate on that Europa League. That's what needs to happen.
Yeah. It's.
I don't know. I think we should. Obviously, I think we should be. You know, we're still in a decent position. Get some points, and we could find ourselves back in the Conference League and back in the Europa League next year. Even if we concentrate on that, Scott, I don't think we're winning that, and that'd be the end of Europe.
It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be very hard. As we said this at the start of the season, Europa League this season is twice as hard as what it was when we got to.
You got Liverpool, you got Leverkusen. I think they're in it who are unbeaten in the league this season, who are top of the Bundesliga. You got obviously Brighton, who we've beat once in the last 10 years, which was this season. Yeah, there's some tough teams in that for sure, and we have to hope we get the luck of the draw.
It's what it all boils down to, mate. With a lot of cup competition, it needs the luck of the draw. But at the end of the day, you want to win a competition, you've got to beat the best at some point.
You know what we want? We need two of the big sides because we can't play Liverpool. Yeah,
not yet, and we can't play Brighton.
No, we can't. We can't play Liverpool or Brighton in the next round. But what we want to do, we want to get a couple of them big ones against each other to knock each other out, and then hope that we get like further on in the grid that we get someone like Leverkusen, who by that time will be fucking concentrating on winning the league that they could sacrifice that cup competition.
Yeah, or if Liverpool get Leverkusen, do you know what I mean? And one of them
but that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what you need. You need the Liverpools and the Leverkusens to be drawn against each other, and then later on down the line, either get a Liverpool or a Leverkusen in a sort of semi-final or final that have still got to win their league, that are in the contention to win the league.
Of course, that's what you need, and you've got to hope then they take their eye off the ball.
Yeah. Because I can't see in our current form. I can't even see us getting past the next round. So let's see. Anyway,
we seem to do well in Europe. There's something about the way we play that sort of suits us.
It will do until we come up against someone familiar.
Yeah, then that's a different. If we
come up against a Brighton or a Liverpool.
Yeah.
Good night, Sam. I'm afraid.
We need some luck with injuries this season, that's for sure. We started really well. It took a while for us to actually start picking up some key injuries, and now It's getting bad. But in terms of Forest, instead of who would you drop from the Arsenal game? Let's go that way. What players do you drop?
Zuma, straight out. I think.
Zuma,
and I'll be honest, I'll bring a Bonner in
against the pace.
Mavropanos.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think Bonner done well in the last game, the Arsenal game, and I think he's got leadership skills. And I think the back four at the moment and the midfield need a bit of fucking, because they're all over the fucking shop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you are right, mate. And this is where I said about changing the system, having this 5 at the back system, especially with the injuries that we've had. And I'm surprised Moyes ain't done it, to be honest. But Zuma needs a rest. That's the thing. It's just working out that Mavropanos has got a mistake in him.
I don't think Zuma will still be playing at 32 years old. The way he is.
As I said, Dan, you can see it. You can see it. He's getting worse and worse, and he's a quality player. And this is the thing. It's one of them where you've got to pick and choose the games you're playing, because I don't think he's got the legs at the minute, or whether he will have the legs, because his knee's shot. You can see his knee shot. You see by the way he walks. This is the frustrating thing is that you can see it as a fan from the sideline. The geezer doesn't walk right. Nick, you know as well as I remember Tucci.
I walk the same.
Zuma, when Tucci was a great centre midfielder who used to play Saturday and Sunday football. Absolutely brilliant player. But he had a bad knee injury, didn't he?
Yeah.
And to me, sometimes the way Zuma walks is the way I used to see Tucci walk, and you can't have a top level athlete who can't walk properly playing as your main centre half.
Yeah, that's it. Having to mark quick players.
Listen, I've got similar knee injuries. That
but you're not playing centre back for West Ham.
No. But what I'm saying is, I can see in his walk, and I know the pain he's feeling, and I know the limitations it gives you, because I walk the same way.
It's sad.
I walk the same way. I feel the same. I know the limitations. Look, I'm not in the gym every day getting my knee massaged and all of that sort of thing like he will be. But I'm just saying, like, the way he walks and the way he runs and stuff. I know what he's feeling, and I know the limitations it brings, because I know I've got it. I've got the same thing, and I know that
surgery would help him, and he's avoiding it. Maybe
surgery. No, surgery. He's beyond surgery. He's beyond surgery. Once your knees are gone, your knees are gone.
You know what? I think he's getting to that stage. You know how Ledley King was coming towards the end, where he couldn't train and he could only play. It seems Zuma's going down that track of being only able to play one game a week.
Scott Bernard says West Ham just dropped a video, but you guys are dominating the views. Nobody wants to hear Moyes talk.
Everyone's watching us instead of West Ham. Honestly, like they posted some training picture on Twitter after that 6-0, and no one wanted to see it. No one wanted to see anything from the club at the moment. But I'd want to hear from Moyes if he came out and said, I'm dropping Souček, because that's who does need to be dropped. Look, Zuma needs to be dropped because he's physically not up to it at the moment. Souček needs to be dropped because he's not doing the job that he's supposed to be doing on that pitch, and that's defending set pieces and scoring set pieces. He does very little else. You
then got to blame the manager, Dan, as we said, when you look at the way he uses it.
Sorry, Scott. Nick,
but this is what I'm saying. Souček is a very, very big scapegoat for us. Look, I like the guy, but I have a pop at him now and again because of his abilities on the ball. And he does pop up and score important goals. And when you look at
he's a coach.
Yeah, and this is the thing, and he's not the main reason we're in the position. Not in the position. The form that we're in isn't Souček's fault. Do you know what I mean?
It doesn't mean he shouldn't be dropped, because it's not his fault, though, isn't it?
No, I totally
think there's a few of them up for dropping. He is a bit of a scapegoat. Because it becomes more noticeable when it doesn't work. I don't feel like
because he never gets dropped and he don't get subbed off, Nick. Like, he's just there 90 minutes every week, and it's like people want him to be dropped because we're not seeing him do anything, but try something different. Let's see the side without Souček. You can see it without Souček. Maybe
you even see set piece deliveries dipped. and like you can sit there and say, okay, is it the player? Is it Ward-Prowse is because he's out of form and the quality's not there, or again, is it down to the manager and what he's asking where he wants the ball to be delivered? Is this causing the reason? Because we know Moyes deals with set pieces defensively and attacking wise. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you can't
listen. The manager can fucking turn around and tell you where he wants it delivered. If it's not working, you take it upon yourself, didn't you? To fucking hit one at the back post, one at the front post.
Exactly, mate. This is it.
Yeah.
Let's hear some final comments here. Kimbo with 499 super chat. Normally have a little bet, but what's the point? Cheers, lads. Thank you, Kimbo.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah. West Ham are not a safe bet at the moment. This is what Nicky started this. Right, was talking. I don't know why it made me laugh. This channel would be improved if you guys were naked.
I don't know about that. Improved is not the word I would use.
Yeah. But maybe we'll try it. Maybe West Ham fans
maybe we won't.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, we should have an OnlyFans. I'll sell you my socks.
Oh. Yeah, no, I think yeah. Honestly. PM says, Nicky, why do you hate Arsenal and Dan? Now, with that wording of the question, are you asking if Nicky hates both Arsenal and me? Are you asking if Nicky hates Arsenal and why I hate
think
Arsenal?
he's asking the both of us why we hate Arsenal. I do not hate Arsenal. I don't know where you get this from. Somebody also asked me why you're so salty about Rice. I'm definitely not salty about Rice. Like, change the channel, man. Like you.
Oh no, listen, I fucking hate Arsenal. I fucking hate them. I despise them. I hate the fans. Not all the fans. I know some great fans. We had Lee Judges on. Look, Robbie Dappos. Lots of great fans. But for the most part, the fans are insufferable. I grew up in East London. At a time, you guys were a bit older than me. Arsenal maybe weren't as good when you guys were at school. When I was at school, Arsenal were winning everything. So all these my friends and people were Arsenal fans in East London, but sit there used to go, oh, East, and you're like, well, you're a fucking supporting the North London team, you mugs. So there's part of that. It goes back.
South London team, then. Get it right. South London.
Well, yeah, South London, yeah. South London moved to North London. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons why. And some of the plays you've had, I hate Arteta. There's a lot of reasons, but there's some sound Arsenal fans definitely out there. It's not all bad.
Dan, there's some sound Arsenal fans that it's one of those Arsenal fans lately, and not all of them, have become insufferable. Do you know what I mean? We had Spurs fans who they were insufferable for a long period of time, and Arsenal have surpassed that by far. All going way back to and look, all this saltiness. Oh, you're salty about they signed. No, we're not. It's the fact that you lot turned around and said that he weren't good enough to lace Partey's boots, and now you're raving about him and how good a player he is when we were telling you he's 10 times better than Partey in the first place. Do you know what I mean? Yes, we know Rice was always going to leave, and he's took that next step to the next stepping stone to move him on to progress his career. Fantastic.
He is right. What Arsenal fans are going to find out quick. Like they're in a. It's good at the minute. But I'll go back to striking while the iron's hot. They've got to strike while the iron's hot, because if they let this chance of winning the Premier League surpass them, and then the next chance next year of surpassing them, and they don't do too well in Europe, or don't win a trophy on the way, or sacrifices, the likes of Saka and Odegaard are not going to be around because they want to play for the Arsenal. They want to win trophies, and if you don't win a trophy, you're going to end up losing them. And Rice will be the next one out of the once they go. So
yeah, these players are as good as they say. You better win now, mate.
They're good players, but a lot like Tottenham. If you don't strike while that iron's hot, mate, that team will start to disintegrate. Like how good Odegaard is, how good Saka is, how good Saliba is. The Real Madrids and all that. They'll come calling if you don't strike while the iron's hot and win a trophy. Like. And I don't want to piss on your parade or anything like that, but I'm just saying.
No, I want to piss on it. Piss on their parade.
No, I don't want to piss on their parade because it's not nice, And as much as you're sitting there,
wait a minute, it's not nice. But you wait. If it was Spurs, you'd piss on their parade.
Can you let me finish? Can you just let me finish?
I think you're being a bit.
Want to poke fingers at us and laugh at us. But you've been in this position before, you know, when the Invincibles started going, you know, once the Barcelona's come fucking calling, Henry was gone. You know, once the Juventuses started coming calling, Patrick Vieira was gone. When he didn't win for trophies for a few years, and you got the, you know, the new heroes like the Van Persies and the Ashley Coles, they was gone.
Yeah.
Extreme.
I think you're getting a bit soft, Nick, in your as you're getting older.
Maybe I am. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with football tribalism, right? Football tribalism is a beautiful thing. Don't let anyone tell you different. It's nothing wrong with tribalism.
I think Nicky's right, mate. If they don't strike,
Arsenal keep on thinking they're getting Mbappe, which is one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
And there you go. And that's one of the problems with it.
No, that geezer was £2 million a week.
Yeah. Honestly. Drano Amazir says, Drano came from the rugby club, designated drinker, used to drink whatever was put in front of me. £600 once to drink a contents of an ashtray. Oh God. Maybe we didn't want to,
mate. For 600 quid, I'd drink it.
Yeah, 600 quid, that's decent, but just the thought of it makes it feel physically sick. Nikki super chat, not super chat, Nikki highlighted this one, I think. Nikki, your knees are shot because you weigh more than Butterbean. To be fair, I saw a brilliant video of Butterbean. He's lost a bit of weight. He's done that DDP yoga. He looks great.
To be fair, you're not far off there. Used to anyway, not too so much now. But my knees are shot because I got fucking nearly broken in half by a fucking jet ski. That's why my knees are shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, lads. Anything else to add?
I'll be outside the ground tomorrow. I'm travelling on my own, so if anyone wants to come and volunteer to help me hold the camera, do come along, because I'll be on my own unless I see someone there that I know. But otherwise, fan cams are on. Come and see me outside the city ground.
And see him outside, hopefully smiling after a fucking big win. 6-0 West Ham.
Hopefully.
And I'll take 1-0, 97th minute winner, mate. That's what we take.
Listen, I want a good performance and a win. I'm greedy because after last they owe it to us, the bastards. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching, all your super chats and normal chats. And listen, you make our Friday nights just a little bit better. So, thanks. Good nice surprise to have Nicky on. We weren't expecting him and he turned up. So good to see you, mate, on. And Scott, as usual, good to see you, mate.
And you, mate. And you. Hey, shout out to Hilaire as well, winning the AFCON.
Yeah. Shout out.
Do you know what?
His name has been on this show a lot, isn't he, Nick?
I told a nasty joke. I say a nasty joke. It wasn't a nasty joke. It was meant in good stead, but somebody said it might be too soon. So I turned around and said, congratulations to Sebastian Haller winning the AFCON. I said, a couple of years ago, he went for a tumultuous situation in his personal life, and something that he may never get over. But he left West Ham and went to a big club. So it might be too soon to tell jokes like that.
Do you know, I didn't know where it was going. I thought it was going to be a lot worse. But yeah, Ale, I'm buzzing for it. He's playing for Dortmund. He just won the AFCON. Seemed like a great lad. Didn't fit the team at the time. Amazing story to come back and go and win a trophy. I'm sure he's dreamed of winning his whole life. So shout out to Sebastian.
Congratulations, man. Really, really, I am really, really happy for him. Really happy for him.
And we got a last super chat has snuck in. Super chat, Snoop Dogg. Super chat has snuck in there last minute. Digital Nomad £5 says 12th man channel is so anti-West Ham, it's unreal. Potts twists everything Lawless says, then all gang up and dismiss. Arse were all over our socials with Rice. Yeah, he's right. Obviously, that's I do a show on Dan Potts' channel, The 12th Man. And listen, it's me against the world. And that's just how it is. And I have to fight for it. And this is the thing, because I have to fight for West Ham so much, people think that I'm this super positive, super delusional West Ham fan, right? And they don't see this. They don't see me on West Ham fan TV where everyone says I'm negative. It's like there's two versions of me because I have to fight. I'm not going to sit and let all these non-West Ham fans just shit on our club.
With all due respect, you sit in a room with a bunch of morons every week. talking nonsense. But that's enough about this channel. Well,
Nicky's coming out with all of them tonight, isn't he? See, that's where Nicky's been. You ain't seen him because he's been doing the stand-up circuit in the evening. So
no, it's difficult. It's difficult, man. It's difficult when you're in front of, top six fan. They don't understand. They don't understand.
We've been obviously doing the show on DR Sports with Flex and Abby and AGTs and Robbie's each week, so what it's like. Yeah, I've seen the videos each week. You're fighting just as hard at the moment. It's tough.
Sometimes you have to put them back in their place. They get a bit carried away. They win a game. They get a bit carried away. Oh yeah, we beat you 6-0. Yeah, but we beat you twice. How bad does that make you early on in the season? If we beat you twice, the team that you just pissed all over, we've already beat you twice. What does that make you?
Yeah. There you go. Love it.
Let's. I need to address this. Where's Ryan? Moyes chased him away. Ryan's he's off for personal reasons for a little while. He's not going to be on the. There's no reason or big reason, but he's we keep on getting it every week. He's just taking some time to himself. That's all.
There you go. So fingers crossed. West Ham do the business tomorrow. Like I said, thank Hams, all of that stuff. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, lads. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy your weekend, despite of West Ham, or hopefully with West Ham. One thing left to say, lads.